Okay, and we're live. Yeah, we are live. What up, nerds? I'm Lester. Welcome to your mom's basement miniatures. I guess that's longer than I normally say it, but hey, it gives people a chance to get in here. Help me get my notes set up. And today we are talking. What are we talking about again? Oh, chaos, 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 and more chaos. And more chaos. And even more chaos. And the Adeptus Custodes and how little I care about them. Oh, hey, Progernet. What up, dude? You ready? Have you checked out these spoilers yet, man? You checked out, you seen this madness yet? Let me grab this book. And you can see I figured out how to do the pretty girl angle, right? Where you're slightly above me, and so we all know just how pretty I am. So I guess I might as well just get started, right? Might as well get started. So these are going to go kind of, not really in chronological order. I mean, it kind of starts in chronological order, but I'm excited for Custodes Bivalve Army. But more excited to abuse Magnus. I mean, I kind of feel like Magnus isn't going to abuse a lot of this stuff. A lot of his keywords off of Thousand Suns and not Chaos Demons. Although I have to check to see if he himself has the Tzeentch Demon keywords. But I think he comes up just as Space Marines, or it's just as Thousand Suns. Yeah, so he has Tzeentch, he has the Tzeentch keyword, but he doesn't have Demon. So a lot of this stuff isn't really going to apply to him, which is a little sad. I kind of wish he had more, but, I mean, he's really powerful on his own. Nick's played a game or two with him around here, over the holiday hiatus, but, so he's nasty. He's big, nasty. I'm gonna start with the first spoiler that came out, which is Khorne. So Khorne, the first thing that they've been spoiling in every one of these releases is the Locust, and I'm pretty sure the Locust is gonna just kind of be the aura that the characters themselves are going to put out. So the character demons. And so they'll be pretty prevalent amongst the armies. So they'll be generally pretty significant to running it. The Khorne Locust is the Locust of Rage, where you can reroll charge rolls for Khorne demon units that are within 6 inches of a friendly model with the Locust of Range in the charge phase. And that's cool, but I think it's mostly meaningless. Because I don't think people really charge at distances where they're likely to fail it, because I don't know about you guys, but I generally don't charge unless I'm within like 6 inches anyway. So I mean, getting that free reroll is fine, just in case you flub the charge, but it's not, it's not game changing. I don't think out of the Khorne spoilers that's the most exciting thing. Nor is it anywhere near the most exciting spoiler that's been put out, period. But definitely not the most exciting Khorne. I think the most exciting... I actually think that the Armor of Scorn, which is a Khorne demon's relic, where a Khorne monster, such as your, Bloodthirster, gets a 4-up invulnerable save and can deny 1 psychic power in each enemy psychic phase. So the Khorne demons, a lot of them have a lot of things that allow them to get a Deny the Witch, which provides a lot of disruption to the psychic phase, and I think that's really cool. Adding further bits for that for your leadership models, it makes it even better. and even more viable, because now more of them will just get to disrupt and deny psychic phases all over the place. But more importantly, giving a Bloodthirster a freaking 4-up invulnerable save as opposed to their usual 5-up makes this terrifying. They also revealed for Khorne the Skull Reaver artifact, which replaces an Axe of Khorne, a Great Axe of Khorne, or a Demonic Axe, where this is range melee, type melee, strength +3, AP -4, damage D6, and reroll all failed wound rolls for this weapon when targeting a Titanic unit. Then each time you make a wound roll of 6-up for this weapon, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds in addition to their normal damage. This is so effing scary, especially on when I said Games Workshop actually agrees with me on this one, on a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, making this a strength 10, AP -4, damage D6, and rerolling failed wounds against Titanic units. I actually wrote here, got Lord of War problems? I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and your knights ain't one. Because, holy bejesus. 6 attacks from that, on your Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, it's, whatever it's hitting is probably not surviving. It's probably just going to get wrecked, especially if it's a character. And this is why I said for the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, because with Relentless Hunter, you can reroll any failed hit rolls for attacks made by this model against characters. Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirsters are really good character assassins. They have 16 wounds, they have a movement of 12, and they have fly, so they can get in and around your units that you're trying to get to bubble wrap your character, and then come in and just crush him. So, GW, hilariously, in the Khorne spoilers, tried to make a big deal out of 24 new Warlord traits, but there's 4 subfactions in the book, so that just means that each subfaction is getting 6, which is totally normal. That's how they've been doing. Every faction's been getting 6 Warlord traits, so it's not really that exciting. It's not really exciting to me at all. But anyways, the Warlord trait for Khorne that they have spoiled is Oblivious to Pain, which gives them a 6-up Feel No Pain, and you can reroll all failed hit and wound rolls made for it until the end of your next turn, after rolling that 6-up Feel No Pain. So let's go back to looking at the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster. So as I say here in my notes, my Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, if I was a Chaos player, and if I was a Khorne Chaos player specifically, I don't think I would be a Khorne Chaos player. I think I would probably be a Tzeentch Chaos player. But, or Nurgle, Tzeentch or Nurgle, as opposed to Khorne. But this makes it so your Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, right, gets himself Toughness 7, 16 wounds, a 5++ invul naturally, and then a 6-up Feel No Pain. This makes him really tough to kill. But I would be running him with the Oblivious to Pain and the Armor of Scorn, so he has himself a 4-up invuln and a 6-up Feel No Pain, and he's probably not going anywhere, except exactly where I want him to, which is in your face and cutting your dudes down with his big ol' axe, or blood flail, I guess. Whichever. Just whichever. Alright, I'm going to move on to the Tzeentch spoilers. So his locus is the Locus of Trickery. The Locus of Trickery, where you roll 2 dice at the start of each fight phase and discard the highest result. Until the end of that phase, each time your opponent targets a Tzeentch demon unit within 6 inches of a friendly model with the Locus of Trickery and makes a hit roll that after rerolls, but before modifiers, matches your remaining dice roll, that hit roll fails. So that's really confusing sounding. So I'm going to try and break it down. So at the start of each fight phase, you're going to roll 2 die. I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 die here. Too bad you can't see them. All right, I rolled a 3 and a 2. So I discard the 3 and keep the 2. So then anytime you target my dudes in the fight phase, all of your 2s that happen after rerolls, they get totally discarded. They failed. They're gone. So if you were looking forward to hitting me on 2s with, I don't know, one of your big characters, and you reroll, end up getting a bunch of 2s, now those are going to be gone. Now this was just a particularly bad roll, but basically it really means that typically your 3s and 4s are going to go away when you're attacking my guys, and that's really big. That's really big news because it's going to be, generally such an average dice roll. Unless I keep rolling poorly. And I kept rolling there. I should have shown you those rolls, but hey, whatever. So it's really funny. Like, it is an absolutely hilarious thing to have happen to your opponent. And it's going to be happening constantly. But it's not really reliable. I mean, it increases your unit's survivability in melee, which is good. Which is good for you. But I don't think it's good enough to be really super excited about. Next up, there's a stratagem for Tzeentch, 2 CP. It's called the Locus of Conjuration. Use this stratagem at the start of your psychic phase. Select a Tzeentch demon character from your army. Until the end of the phase, you can reroll any failed psychic tests made for friendly Tzeentch demon units within 6 inches of that model. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so scary. This is so terrifying. Especially in the hands of, say, the Lord of Change, or, what's his name? Now I have to look at his name. I should have written it down. Or in the hands of Kairos Fateweaver, or, if one of those two things is close to the other. Because you'll just be able to manifest powers, especially on things that have these bonuses, like the Lord of Change. So if I'm rolling for my Lord of Change, and I'm rolling Smite, and I somehow flub it, then I roll 2, I'll be able to re-roll that. And, hauling off and rolling a 2, that's going to be a Perils. Now I've avoided Perils. And if I even roll a 3 on my Lord of Change, because he gets this bonus, he's going to pass. And he's going to start smiting things. And he gets 2 powers in every phase. So, yeah. I wrote here on my notes, I hope you like your characters turning on you due to the Treason of Tzeentch discipline, where warp charge value 8, if manifested, select a visible enemy character. And if you roll 2d6 and the result is greater than their leadership, you treat them as if they were your model for the shooting, charge, and fight phases. So this really just makes those sorts of things even more likely to happen. Let alone bigger, badder smites and getting hit with these bolts of change, which is like another big bad smite. It's really nasty. It's super nasty. And it's pretty good. Like, that's actually a thing I'm pretty excited about, or I would be excited about if I was a Tzeentch Demons player. I'm not, but it's cool. All of it's cool. There's so much cool stuff here. Okay, then we have one of their new psychic powers also displayed, Flickering Flames, with a warp charge of value 5. If manifested, you pick a unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until your next psychic phase, add 1 to any of the wound rolls made for that unit's shooting weapons. There's not a lot of really good shooting weapons amongst the Tzeentch stuff, but they do have, maybe not a plethora, but they do have a significant number of strength 3 flamers. So it just really helps them pick those sorts of dudes off. All right, and then the relic that they revealed for Tzeentch is called the Impossible Robe. So the Impossible Robe is Tzeentch only, obviously. The wearer of the Impossible Robe has a 4-up invulnerable save, and once per game, they can reroll a single failed saving throw. But if the reroll results in a 1, the wearer is immediately slain. I probably would never... I get too nervous about these things, especially because I tend to just roll really low. I'm statistically unlucky, which makes playing freaking minis games hard, right? But giving a Tzeentch model a 4-up invuln save, like your, I can't think of the name of that unit now. Jeez, I was just looking at it. But giving him a 4-up invuln makes him way tougher. And then, on top of that, Tzeentch demons have what's called ephemeral form, where you add 1 to all of their invuln saves. So now that invuln save becomes a 3-up invuln, and that's bananas. And you get a chance to re-roll it if it goes poorly one time. So if you haul off and roll a 1, you can try it again. Now, be careful if that reroll results in a 1, obviously, but rolling a 1 into a 1 is really unlikely. It's really unlikely. You can probably count on it to save one of your frickin' you save your warlord from your enemy's shadow sword shot. Oh man, we're moving quickly today. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the Slaanesh spoilers. So from the Slaanesh spoilers, I actually think GW released, like, out of all of the spoilers that are here, I actually think that Slaanesh has the weakest spoilers of all. And I don't know, but I think it's okay. I think it's fine that they have the weakest spoilers. I don't think that that's an indicator of Slaanesh demons being weak at all. And I think that this is Slaanesh and Khorne occupy a lot of the same game space, and they kind of compete for players and spaces on lists because they're both very melee centric. But Khorne's units focus on being bigger and hitting harder, whereas Slaanesh's units work on trying to get hit less and also being faster. So I think that the base mechanics of the game really favors Slaanesh over Khorne. So these weak spoilers are not like a nerf or anything. They're not a big deal because I think that their units just kind of work better with what the game is trying to do. And I mean, that's fine. It's okay, but I don't know. Anyways, let's just get to talking about them. So, the Slaanesh Locus is the Locus of Swiftness, and I think this is probably one of the better loci that's been shown, and is the best thing that came in the Slaanesh spoilers. So all Slaanesh demon units within 6 inches of a friendly model with the Locus of Swiftness in the charge phase can declare a charge even if they advance in their movement phase. Rad. Done. Too easy. What's interesting about the Locus of Swiftness, too, is that I just noticed that it doesn't say that the unit has to start within 6 inches of a friendly model with the Locus of Swiftness in the charge phase. So at the beginning of the charge phase, it says as long as they are within 6 inches within the charge phase. So, oh, hey, welcome back. I hope you can get a sec to catch up, because I don't know, I moved really quick through Tzeentch and Khorne. So, if you've seen those spoilers, do you have anything to say about them now? Because I'm already talking about Slaanesh. Anything to say on that there, Progenet? Probably should just... I'm going to keep talking, though, because, silence. It's not good. Anyways, so... Meaning, if you have a Slaanesh demon that has the Locus that's out of range but can charge into range, of a friendly Slaanesh unit, they can actually get something else to be able to advance and charge. Or, charge even though they advanced. And that's interesting. Oh, hey, what up, Nick? What up, nerds? So, being able to roll the charges is really good. So I was saying that I don't actually think that rerolling charges matters a lot. Now maybe it's something different for me because I tend to play with transports. So when I am charging from like 6 inches. I mean, having a free reroll for when you flub is fine, and it's nice, so you don't have to spend CP. But like, I don't know. I don't think it's super great, is the thing. Granted, I've never played Khorne Demons, so maybe you just have freaking blood whatevers. Wow, I really wish I knew these names better. You have your freaking your basic troops running up the field, just running as fast as they can, and you just try to charge as soon as you see the opportunity. So I don't see it still. Now again, Tzeentch's Bloodletters, thank you. Yeah, Tzeentch's. I think Tzeentch's is really funny. I think Tzeentch's Locust is probably the funniest of the loci. I don't think it's the best one. I think, like I said a couple minutes ago, I think the Slaanesh Locust is the best one. Because, well, it's rad. Being able to advance and charge, that's really cool. That's super cool. I also have to admit that I somehow didn't notice that the Khorne and the Tzeentch spoilers had been out. I've been looking over the Nurgle and Slaanesh ones over the weekend, so I have more research done there, as you'll be able to tell once I start. Once I put out this list, because I actually made a Chaos Demons list and have a list of what I would run here. You've been playing a lot of demons. Helpful. Yes, right. So that's the other thing. I don't think I would be playing Khorne if I was playing demons. I think I would be playing Nurgle or Tzeentch. I find the Tzeentch models more appealing, and I find I think the psychic phase is a stronger phase of the game than all of the melee phases. So with that in mind, I think that Tzeentch is really powerful. It's a really good faction. But I do think that the Bloodthirster models are some of the coolest models in the game. Like, straight up, hands down. There's no denying it at all. Anyways, so I think the Locus of Swiftness... Okay, going back. Sorry. So the Locus of Swiftness, where all Slaanesh demon units within 6 inches of model with the Locus of Swiftness in the charge phase can declare a charge, even if they advance in their movement phase. That's so cool. And as I was saying when you were coming back there, Progernet, the interesting thing is how the way this is written, if you start with a unit out of range of the Locus, and then charge in, and then you end up in range of a unit, then that unit that you're now in range can use the Locus, and that's funny and cool, and it's neat. And oh my gosh, holy crap! Like looking over the Slaanesh things, they're so fast. Everything's so fast. Like the slowest unit is the Demonettes with 7-inch movement, with everything else being like 12 or 14-inch movement. I definitely think that having a threat range of 12 plus 1 plus 1d6 plus 2d6 is insane. That's an insane threat range, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so they also put out Warlord traits because we're putting out Warlord traits in spoilers because they're cool. But I don't think these are, well, I think one of them's pretty all right. Anyways, so Quicksilver Duelist, where has it? Excuse me. Quicksilver Duelist is a Warlord trait where you can reroll failed hit and wound rolls for attacks made by your Warlord in the fight phase against characters. That's decent. And Bewitching Aura. Enemy models subtract 1 from their attack's characteristic to a minimum of 1, whilst they are within 6 inches of your Warlord. This does not affect enemy vehicles. So, Quicksilver Duelist is fine. Okay? It's okay. It's a good one, but getting your characters to fight enemy characters is like, while it's not super hard, it is a more difficult play than is probably really worth betting on with your Warlord trait. So I think it's fine. It's okay. Again, I think it's okay, but I don't think it's super great. Now, Games Workshop tried in the spoiler. They talk about using this in combination with a Keeper of Secrets, and I think that is dumb. I actually think that's a straight trap. I don't think it would work at all, because the Keeper of Secrets, if I'm going to take a look here, so the Keeper of Secrets has a 12-inch move, which is fine, but does not have like fly or anything. So getting around to get at characters that are behind their buddies for protection is going to be hard. And I think that's a hard sell. Especially because the Keeper of Secrets doesn't have any special ability that will let it like fall back and charge in the same turn. Now, assuming that the Mask of Slaanesh doesn't have a different Warlord trait that it has to use, the Quicksilver Duelist on the Mask of Slaanesh, it would be fucking amazing. I dropped my 1 F-bomb for the night for this, and I think it was worth it. Like, dazzlingly worth it. Because the Mask of Slaanesh, right, has dazzling acrobatics. They're just trying to sell models. I understand that they're trying to sell models, but, like, if I don't work at dispelling this silly idea, I don't think I'm doing my job right. Like, straight up. Because that's a silly idea, and I think it would lead to a lot of disappointment for people who were trying to do that. Now, I'm totally willing to say, you know what? Don't buy that model to use with Quicksilver Duelist. Use the Mask of Slaanesh instead. Because if the Mask of Slaanesh manages to get into combat with, you know, the buddies that are trying to bubble wrap a character, because it has Dazzling Acrobatics where it can advance and /or fall back and still charge in the same turn, right? I think that's way better. So the Mask is a little slower, right, at 8 inches as opposed to the base 12 inches of the Keeper of Secrets. Also the Keeper of Secrets has 12 wounds, so I think it probably won't even make it to melee. Like, it just won't make it there. It's only got a 5-up invuln and a 6-up normal save. It's not making it into melee. But the Mask, with its 4 wounds, probably will, right? So the Mask will be following around demonettes, and then probably get into melee at the same time as them. And then on your next turn, if the fight isn't already won, be able to fall back, so move 8 inches, advance another 1d6 inches, and then charge into melee again, and then be able to actually use Quicksilver Duelist. So in this case, they're less mobile, but they're following around a unit that's an appropriate speed for them and has the ability to actually survive to get into the melee phase of the game. And then just tear whatever that character is up. Just rip it right to shreds, right then and there. And I don't know. I just think that's better. I think that would have been a better sell. So Bewitching Aura, because I talked a lot about Quicksilver Duelist just now, I'm actually going to talk about Bewildering Aura, or Bewitching Aura, excuse me. So Bewitching Aura, I think is just a better Warlord trait, just straight up, for a Slaaneshi Warlord. Like, because enemy models subtract 1 from their attacks characteristic to a minimum of 1 whilst they're within 6 inches of your Warlord. That's it. So if you take your dedicated melee units and you get into a fight with another dedicated melee unit, your dudes are probably going to come out on top. I mean, they're going to fight first, and your opponents are going to be able to fight less. And that's just really good. Like, it's just really good. And because it ends up mucking about with all of the ways that dedicated melee units, a lot of dedicated melee units have a way of adding 1 to their attacks characteristic, right? As opposed to like having we have 2 attacks. No, we like Blood Claws, right? Every Blood Claw has an attacks characteristic of 1, but then they add 1 to their attack characteristic when they charge. So this would literally just negate it. Like, nope, didn't work, didn't happen. And that sucks. That really sucks for those Blood Claws, especially because they're going to fight last, right? So they're going to sacrifice almost all of the advantage that they had just because they got within 6 inches of your, I don't know, Herald or your Mask of Slaanesh or your Keeper of Secrets. Again, I don't think the Keeper of Secrets is great. But, you know, anytime I see a character that has 10 wounds or more, like 10 to 15 wounds is the exact wrong number of wounds, right? So you have, if you have 9 wounds and you're a character, perfect. If you have 16 wounds and you're a character, you're okay. You see what I mean? 16 or up. And then you're okay. You can at least survive to get some stuff done. But other than that, it's like Las Cannon City. Like, oh, okay, you have 10 wounds? Good job. You're dead. Good job. You're going to eat 1 round of shooting from Long Fangs or Devastators or whatever. Whatever equivalent your opponent has. Like, heavy weapons teams, frickin' Havocs, whatever. Whatever that is for your opponent, that dude's going to eat it. So it's just not, I don't know, I just don't think bringing a character. Yeah, right, exactly. Mortarion having 18 wounds. Nick, how many wounds does Magnus have? Or Progernet, either way. Right, 18 wounds, and having some way of, like, just dealing with, so, like, Magnus has too many wounds, right? Yeah, Magnus, or 18, yeah. So, like, 18 wounds is perfect. 18 wounds is great, you know? Because you're going to eat you're going to eat some last cannon fire. Like, it's going to happen. But then those characters have invulns as well, right? And Magnus gets to reroll his invulns of 1. So that's a very survivable character, right? That's really good. The Keeper of Secrets isn't. The Keeper of Secrets is a fine model and it's a fine unit, but I think it has too many wounds. Or too few. And I don't think it's worth bringing as your Warlord, because you're just going to hand slay the Warlord to your opponent. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Am I dumb? Whatever. Either way, I'm moving on to the Slaanesh Psychic power that they have shown us, which is Phantasmagoria. It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, enemy units must subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic until the start of your next psychic phase, while they're within 12 inches of the psyker. So, what's the thing that makes this really cool is how huge that rage is. That's why I like Scabathrax and the Nurgle Greater Demon. Yes. Oh, man. Nurgle demons. I'm going to get to Nurgle, right? Nurgle's next. And boy, is Nurgle bananas. Like, man. I'm sure you already saw those spoilers because they've been out for a while, but like, I kind of wish I had brought. Kind of wish I was bringing this to you for the first time, but whatever. Hashtag Nurgle Best God. I mean, don't get it twisted. Even this loyal servant of the Emperor has been tempted by Nurgle now. Grandfather Nurgle may convert me, especially because having demons means I could play Age of Sigmar and 40k with the same models. Nurgle is best god. What up, Matt? What up, Matthew Molina? GW is pushing Nurgle hard. They're pushing them real hard. Like, with how good Death Guard is, and with how good freaking the Nurgle demons are. Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay, anyways, Phantasmagoria. Fair. I mean, that's fair. So, Phantasmagoria has a warp charge value of 6, and subtracts 1 from the leadership in a 12-inch radius around the Psyker. So, 1, that aura is huge. 12 inches, 12-inch radius, and, oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? That's a full 2 feet of, 2 feet plus a base, that your Psyker is affecting with this. And oh my god. Subtracting 1 from the leadership, when you have units like Demonettes, they're getting Primaris, so there you go. Oh man. Oh, what? How are they getting Primaris? That's not cool. That's not cool. Emperor's Children. I'm so mad at them. Subtracting 1 from the leadership in this huge area when you have units that are going to have a crap ton of attacks, like the Demonettes, or, I don't know, any other Slaaneshi melee-based unit, aka all of the Slaaneshi units. Fabius Bile. Okay, Fabulous Bob. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, hey, there you go, Nick. You were saying you wanted to have Primaris Marines, and it looks like you're going to be getting them. Like, and, that makes sense. Chaos has got to get a little bit of Primaris love, because Primaris is super good. Super good. So, this is just a great... Phantasmagoria is a great, like, secondary way of finishing off your opponent's dudes in melee, right? And being able to move on to the next ones. Because you're probably gonna fight your opponent down, because you have 1,000,000 attacks, and then a bunch of them are gonna run. And this is gonna be even worse for opposing horde-style armies, like orcs or whatever, where they're gonna take a lot of losses, and in taking all those losses, then having their leadership lowered even by 1. Just, I don't know. It's almost like, it's like a kind of the poor man's sweeping advance, right? It's a poor man's sweeping advance, this psychic power. Just making it all that much worse. Because it's kind of like you lost another guy in there. Alright, and then finally, before I take a second and go get a glass of water, because I need to, we have the Slaanesh Demon's Stratagem, Aura of Acquiescence. This costs 1 CP. At the start of any fight phase, you select a Slaanesh Demon unit, and then enemy units within 3 inches reduce their attacks characteristic by 1. And this is just even more melee defense for your units. And, stacking that with Bewitching Aura, so if you have your Warlord have Bewitching Aura, and then they're hanging out behind some Demonettes, and while they're hanging out behind these Demonettes, you drop the Aura of Acquiescence on those Demonettes. Your Demonettes are going to be fine. Like, your opponent's attack characteristic is reduced by 2 to a minimum of 1. Whatever you're fighting probably isn't going to be able to hit enough to actually tear your dudes apart. Like, not even Tyranids, even, right? Like, good luck. Good luck tearing through all my demons, because I brought like 30 demonettes, and here you go. So good. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. It's not even a real break, but I'm just going to go grab a glass of water. I'll be right back. And it. Okay. And I'm back. All right. And now, because now we're going to get to talking about Nurgle. And how great Grandfather Nurgle is. And how great he always will be. And how I think that Nurgle is going to be a major... Like, Nurgle Demons is going to be a major... I don't know how many times I can say major before I get tired of it. Contender for a lot of top tournament spots once we start seeing these things laid down. And I think that once you get down to the LVO there, Progernet, you're probably going to see a lot of pretty competitive lists for old Grandpapa Nurgle. What do you think? Do you agree with me here? Sorry, I'm also trying to set something up here that I really should have set up before, but I didn't have the computer until just now. Oh. Do-do-do-do. All right. So, starting off, you agree, but you're not too worried. I mean, hey, that's fair. You're a confident man, and your list looks like it probably can handle some of this stuff. All right, so Grandfather Nurgle got the long straw here, for sure. It's a good time to be on his side, for sure. And looking at these spoilers now, again, when they were talking about these spoilers, we were talking about what Games Workshop recommends in the spoilers. Typically, they're just doing that as an ad, right? Like as an advertisement for, models that they're trying to push. But in this case, it's both models that they're trying to push and something that is tactically and game-wise really sound, and has a lot of great, like, synergy to it, for sure. So, a lot of these things, right? Games Workshop talks about plague bearers, right? And how amazing they are, how good they're gonna be, and it's 100% true. It's just true. Oop, I didn't want that display. It's just true, and they're going to work a lot with a lot of these. All right, so let's first look at their locus, which is the locus of virulence. Each time you make a wound roll of 6+ for a Nurgle demon unit within 6 inches of any friendly model with the locus of virulence, that attack inflicts 1 additional damage. Okay, so I've said it before, and I'm really sure other people have said it before, and it will continue to be said about 8th edition 40k, but 8th edition 40k really wants you to have big, fat units. Like, big units, and using auras to keep them in line and in check, and to buff them a lot. Okay? So, so when I'm talking about the locus of virulence and plague bearers, I'm not talking about a min squad of 10 plague bearers. I'm talking max squads of 30 plague bearers barreling down, well, maybe not barreling, but trudging on down to chop you with their plague swords, modified saber. They hold their swords in modified saber, and just inflicting a crap ton of damage, because there's gonna be a lot of hits here. There's just gonna be a bunch of hits on these things. Excuse me. Still trying to get this thing set up. Yeah, I keep messing it up. Okay. So, you know, they will, when you're rolling 30 dice to attack, and then you get a whole mess of wounds, you're probably going to get some additional damage in there. And that's, oh, so nasty. All right, so adding to these, adding to this list of things where the, where the plague bearers are going to be just not just a freaking, excuse me, one more time, sorry. And they're not going to just be, you know, this unit that you use to just hold the line or whatever you do, whatever people used to do with them, but a really big, nasty, offensive unit. All right, so here's the Nurgle Demon Stratagem Plague Banner. So for 1 CP, this is a stratagem you use before the battle. You choose one of your Nurgle models with a demonic icon, which your Plague Bearers can have. That icon is upgraded to a Plague Banner. In addition to its normal ability, the power of the banner can be used once per battle, just before the bearer's unit fights. When used, increase the damage characteristic of all plague swords carried by the bearer's unit to 2 until the end of the phase. Meaning, if you use your Plague Banner's ability, because I've played a bunch of War Machine, I want to call it a mini feat. So if you use your Plague Banner's mini feat, your Plague Bearers, Plague Swords are going to be damage 2, and then any wound rolls of 6 up will now be damage 3, if they get through. And that's, oh my god. And it keeps stacking, right? And it just keeps, as these spoilers keep going, it keeps stacking over and over and over. So now let's talk about the Spoilpox Scrivener. Yeah, exactly. Oof. Right? Now let's talk about the Spoilpox Scrivener. It's going to be a new form of a new form of Nurgle Herald. All right? So he has an ability called Keep Counting, Meet Your Quota, where you add 1 to all hit rolls made for Plague Bearer units within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly models with his ability. In addition, if you make a hit roll of 7+ for a Plague Bearer within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly models, so basically, with this ability, so basically, if they're within 6 inches of a Spoilpox Scrivener, if they hit a 6-up on their to hits, right, on their hit rolls, you can immediately make 1 additional attack at the same target with the same weapon. The bonus attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks. So, all right. So while we're on this, right, while we're on adding numbers and things, right, let's add to this Epidemius. Okay, so Epidemius is a named Nurgle character, and he has an ability called the Tally of Pestilence. So, as your Nurgle demon units kill units, as Nurgle demon units, friend or foe, destroy enemy units, you add effects, and the first one is reroll hit rolls of 1. So if you remove 2 enemy units with Nurgle demons, then you reroll hit rolls of 1, and on hit rolls of 7-up, you're adding 1 for your Plague Bearers. Now they get extra attacks, which then have extra damage for every 6-up on wounds that they're getting. And oh my gosh. Oh man. I'm sorry. That's so scary. Like the biggest saving grace here is that they're slow, right? Because your Plague Bearers have a movement of 5 inches. But if 3 units get destroyed by Nurgle units, then you increase the move characteristic of friendly Nurgle demons by 1, making them even faster. And all of these bonuses stack. I really highly recommend, if you have a way of looking at Epidemius right now, because I don't have a way of putting him up at the moment, or showing off his profile, you look and just take a look at that and see just how scary this is, stacking with the things that are in these spoilers. And I'll try to see about being able to show you the things I'm looking at better next time. But for now, oh my gosh, that's so scary, right, guys? Like, okay. Anyways, adding to the madness. Let's add more to the madness. Okay, so we're also weird. I'm already talking like I collect Nurgle. Okay, Nurgle demons are also getting access to a unit from Age of Sigmar called Horticulus Slimux. I'm gonna call him Slimer. So Slimer, he's a straight up crossover between 40k and Age of Sigmar, which is the real reason to collect demons, is because you buy 1 set of models and you get to play 2 games, which is cool. But he brings some really rad abilities to the table with him. First of all, he has Beast Handler, where you can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly units of Beasts of Nurgle that are within 6 inches of him. That's cool. In addition, you can add 1 to all hit rolls made for friendly units of Beasts of Nurgle that are within 12 inches of Horticulus Slimux. So, like, while that doesn't really add to any of the stuff that we were talking about, because I don't think Beasts of Nurgle can have, like, the Plague Banner or anything like that. It's still good, right? Like, it's just good to add 1 to your hit rolls. Bar none. And then he also gets Seed the Garden of Nurgle, where at the end of your movement phase, you can add a new Feculent Gnarlmaw to your army that already contains 1 Feculent Gnarlmaw. Set it up within 3 inches of Slimer and more than 1 inch away from any other models and terrain features. Slimer cannot use this ability if he performs a demonic ritual this turn. But if he has this ability, don't have him doing demonic rituals. Just don't do it. Now, I'm absolutely sure this is going to have some points cost, of course. But I think that it might be worth it. And when I talk about the list that I made later, I will show you that I didn't take him into account because I don't know his points and I don't know the points of the Feculent Gnarlmaw. But anyways, the Feculent Gnarlmaw, by the way, because I guess I didn't explain that, is a piece of terrain that goes into your fortification slots. Okay? And it has the following abilities. 1, Shroud of Flies. All Nurgle demon units, except vehicles and monsters. So, infantry, like, I don't know, Plague Bearers, that are completely within 7 inches of a Feculent Gnarlmaw receive the benefit of cover, but you add 2 to their saving throws instead of 1. Remember, invulnerable saves are not benefited by cover. This makes your, I don't know, Plague Bearers have themselves a natural save of 4 up and a 5++ because they're demonic, right? And that's neat. And then we have the Plague Bell's Chime. Nurgle demon units that are within 7 inches, not fully within, right, like the Shroud of Flies, but just within 7 inches, at the start of their turn can shoot and or charge this turn even if they fell back or advanced, making them even faster. Like, a lot faster. On average, twice as fast, I think. I'd have to do some math, but I'm bad at math, so I'm not going to do it right now. So spoopy. Like, that is so scary. And they only have to be within 7 inches. So you can drag one little Plague Bearer back along to make sure that that works out for you. And that's terrifying. Like, a lot of this is really scary. Alright, and then lastly, we have the Nurgle Artifact, which was listed, which is the Horn of Nurgle's Rot. Nurgle model only. Roll a d6 each time the bearer kills an enemy model in the fight phase, whilst within 7 inches of 1 or more friendly units of Plague Bearers. Who would have thought? On a 4 up, you can add a single Plague Bearer model to one of those units. Just add them. Just put them down. Bring them back. Alright. So my advice to here is to give it to your Demon Prince with wings. Then when melee starts, have him swing around and charge into your opponent on a flank, and he'll make you some more Plague Bearers for your favorite unit. And, boy. Oh, boy. So what do you guys think of these Nurgle spoilers? Are you as, like, oh my gosh, about them as I am? Because, whew, boy, is that nasty. Boy, is that nasty. I know, me sitting here clicking things is probably not super exciting, but I just have to make sure this thing is working. Oh yeah, oh man, so I'm trying to show you guys this list right here, and it might take a thing that I kind of don't want to do, but might have to do it. Where at first I made it with a mix of Death Guard and Nurgle demons, but after reading over and doing some research on Slaanesh, dude, Gnarlmaw, so yeah, the Gnarlmaw is so good. It is so good, and I am really, I'm looking forward to it, and I really want to see what it looks like, and I hope it's not something lame looking. I hope it's like some kind of. I hope it's some kind of like really nasty looking, some kind of really gross, disgusting looking like drippy forest, right? Like trees with like pus oozing out of them and stuff like that. I really hope it's like that, because that will be amazing. Yep. Get shareable link. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this should hopefully work. Ugh. Like, I kind of want to see a game happen where it like kind of just straight takes over, you know? It's in that Christmas music video Warhammer TV put out. Okay. That's cool to know. Now, like, I'll have to go searching through that, I guess, but, okay, sorry. That's just not working. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. We just have to do this the old-fashioned way. Which I guess is cool. Display capture. Ooh, buddy. How trippy is this? Okay. So, yep. Okay. And then we're gonna take that and we will squeeze it. Oh wait, we really can't. Okay. This is capturing a whole chunk of the display. Okay. That looks silly now. Oop. Okay. And this up. Okay. 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 I'm really good at this, guys, I swear. Remove that. Yes, I do want to remove display capture. Now, we need to put this back. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Boy, did I really mess that up. Okay. Window capture. That's probably going to be better. Okay. That's not better. We'll do it this way. Buddy. Okay, we're gonna pop this out. I know. Riveting stuff. Then come back. Then we go OBS. Get rid of this window capture. Remove. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes making things work is hilariously difficult. Display capture. We're just doing it. Just getting it in. And that. Okay. Now I'm just hoping for the best. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this list. Can you guys see the list? Let me know in the chat if you can see the list and if it's legible. Yes, no. Yes, thank you. Okay. All right. So here we have a list for Chaos Demons. It has in it a battalion detachment of Nurgle. I moved it. Okay. Did I move it so now you can't see it? Okay. Yes, no? Can you see it and read it now? Like where it is? It's good now. Okay, cool. All right. So we have a battalion detachment of Nurgle demons and an outrider detachment of Slaanesh demons. And so we'll talk about kind of what I did here and whatnot. All right. So first up, because it's a battalion detachment, we needed at least 3 troops choices. And in this case, I have 2 Nurglings, 2 sets of Nurglings with 8 Nurgling swarms each. So that's 16 Nurglings in total. And we have also a set of 2 units of Plague Bearers. And these are big, fat 30-man units of Plague Bearers. Then we have, for the HQ choices, a Demon Prince of Chaos with wings. He has 2 Malefic Talons, a Warp Bolter, and the Fleshy Abundance Nurgle Power. We have Epidemius and a Herald of Nurgle. So this Herald of Nurgle is actually a placeholder for a Spoilpox Scrivener. And I'm really hoping he would be amazing. I've also actually left 30 points off of the list because I'm not sure. I'm really sure that the Spoilpox Scrivener will actually be more points than the Herald of Nurgle. So I left 30 points off just in case he has, like, a 30-point increase here. Okay? And that is that entire detachment, right? Not a lot of units, but a lot of models and wounds per unit. All right, then I have in my Outrider detachment a Troops Choice of Demonettes because I had some extra points and, whatever. Then 3 units of Seekers and 1 without a demonic icon. And then an HQ, which is a Herald of Slaanesh on Seeker Chariot. And then 1 unit of Fiends of Slaanesh. So, the Herald of Slaanesh on the Seeker Chariot, I think will probably actually be used to summon this unit of Seekers that don't have the demonic icon. So this unit will probably actually be technically off of the list, but have, I have them here because their points are accounted for, and then they'll get summoned in later. Because they're, 5 PL, and that's a pretty easy summon. So, the point of this list here is it's using nothing but demons. I originally had this using the... Oh, you sent me a screenshot of the Feculent Gnarlmaw. Okay, that's cool. It looks gross, and that's awesome. Okay, so this list here has these Nurgling swarms, right? So when you the game plan is to deploy with the Nurgling swarms using their Mischief Maker's ability to deploy way forward and immediately, by their mere presence, disrupting the enemy lines and also drawing fire. Now, they're going to do this by just rolling in and trying to get into melee as fast as they can, which isn't very fast, but because they start up at 9 inches away, they're probably going to do a pretty good job of it. Oh, excuse me, more than 9 inches from the enemy deployment zone. But hey, that's going to be really close. And with 8th edition's alternating deployment types, then it'll probably work out really well for them. And there's a good chance they'll get in. And if they can kill something as they're in there, they're going to start upping the tally for Epidemius. Okay? And at 4 wounds a base, and with disgustingly resilient, they're really tough. Like, they're going to be really hard to get rid of. They're going to kind of like use. I got the inspiration for using these Nurglings like this from how the Arbiter uses his Scarabs as this really forward disruption unit, right? And also, these guys, if you draw a tactical objective that's out there really early, you can slip them in and you're right. They only get it against damage 1 weapons, but if people are firing greater than damage 1 weapons at your Nurglings and not at, I don't know, bigger stuff, then you're doing fine. That's actually them doing exactly what they're supposed to do, right? So those units aren't really there to, like, I don't know. They're not there to be amazing. They're there to disrupt. And if you haul off and fire, I don't know, plasma guns at my Nurglings, then I'm winning, right? I have affected your turn by their mere presence. And that's what they're there to do. Because while you are having your big stuff shooting at Nurglings, it's not shooting at my Seekers or my Demonettes or my Herald. I guess you'd have a tough time shooting at my Herald of Slaanesh, or my Fiends of Slaanesh as they're moving up the field. Okay? So the Nurglings are going to be up there fighting the good fight. Well, fighting the gross fight, I guess, as the Slaanesh demons are moving up. Right? Now, I have, like, no shooting in this list, but I think that's okay, because I kind of respond to it by having a lot of speed and a surprising amount of durability on the midline things, right? So a lot of speed on my front line, a lot of durability and surprising amount of durability on my Vanguard, and then an intense amount of durability on my midline, and then not really having anything in the back line that's weak and exposed. Because, hey, if you drop in on my Plague Bearers, that's fine. Now you have to fight my 30 Plague Bearers. Good luck. And my Demon Prince of Chaos, right? And so in this list as well, my either Epidemius or my Demon Prince of Chaos is going to be the Warlord. With whatever Warlord trait Nurgle will get, right? I don't know which ones that are available at the moment. I'd have to take a look at the spoilers again. And, whichever. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. And, my Demon Prince of Chaos is going to have the Horn of Nurgle. So if you come back there to fight my Plague Bearers, you're really likely to make the situation worse for yourself. So, it's all going according to my plan, at least. Or at least I can spin it enough that it sounds like it is. Right? So, then as my Nurglings are getting their poop pushed in by the rest of your army, as they're supposed to, Slaanesh demons are coming on up to fight you, and they're coming fast, right? These Seekers have a freaking movement of 14 inches, right? And I'm really sure that the Herald of Slaanesh is going to have the Locust. So, they're going to be coming up, and they're going to be coming fast, and they're going to probably get in on you on a charge, right? Because they have at least the ones that are here, right? These first two that are going to start on the field, they have themselves the Instruments of Chaos. And those Instruments of Chaos means that they're going to add 1 to their advance and charge rolls. So as they're coming for you, they're coming really quick. And they're going to be able to charge on a turn that they have advanced. And yeah, that's nasty and that's scary. And adding 1 to each of those charge rolls. So then their threat range becomes 14 inches plus 1 plus 1d6 plus 1 plus 2d6. And that's an intense threat range. It's just nasty. And then Fiends of Slaanesh are going to be bringing it up too, to kind of bubble wrap the Herald and also add to the nastiness once these Seekers get in. And the Herald will summon in this third group of Seekers to kind of replace the ones that have probably died on the way coming in. Now, they won't have the Demonic Icon or the Instrument of Chaos, but the fact that these ones will have the Demonic Icon will also help that those units stay alive. Did you have an APOC game Saturday and you're bringing Death Guard Nurgle Demons? And you have 24 Nurgling bases? Oh my god.
That's how you do.
Oh my god, ProgerNet.
Doing it right.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That is how you do. Arbiter's shouting, that's how you do. You're doing it right from the other room.
Because he is.
Because you are, he says. And yeah. So this is my demons list. It's a 7,000 point game. Oh, I can't even imagine that. Like, what size of table do you even play that on? Like, oh my gosh. Let's see, other things that were talked about by Games Workshop while I get OBS corrected. Oh, you're gonna have to look at this for a second because I don't have a second monitor. I really should. Do you remove that? 12 by 8? Holy cow. Alright, I got the weird. I'm gonna drop that. I got rid of the display capture thing. Okay, we're gonna move it up. Is that fixing it? No. Oh, okay. No, I was just looking at the properties for display capture. Wow, I had actually fixed this. Okay. Hi, I'm back. So what do you guys think of that list? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Do you want to use it? Oh, he's bringing a Warhound? Oh my god. Dude, this sounds bananas. Just straight bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. That sounds like a really exciting game. Let's see, what else? What's the, freaking... Adeptus Custodes is coming soon. I am apathetic about it. What do you guys think about Adeptus Custodes? I'm not... I think that having taken a look at the... Lacking in high toughness. I mean, yeah, that's true. I am lacking in high toughness. I'm really kind of banking on disgustingly resilient. You could play a text-to-speech army. Okay. I got you. Yeah, that demons list is very low toughness. That is true. And it could probably get really messed up by some really heavy fire and high AP, or even low AP. Actually, no, because they got 5-up invulns, so AP is not going to matter. High strength stuff. So the thing is that high strength stuff tends to be low attack, like very few dice. A last cannon only throws one die at a time, and it's good. It's like you fire a last cannon into a group of plague bearers, you're only going to kill one plague bearer, right? If that. He's got a 5-up. Yeah, he's got a 5-up invuln, and then a 5-up feel no pain, and also because that unit of plague bearers is 30 dudes, you're at a -1 to hit until you kill 11 of them. I mean, Guard Tau Eldar are, I think they're probably going to be, they're high tier. They're just mad high tier. Like, they have, so, I don't know if I've said this on the channel yet, but I know I've said this, yeah, right, it's bananas. Bananas. So, the thing about this game, right, is if you the order of strength in the phases of the game goes movement, shooting, psychic, fight, charge, and morale. Actually, morale is probably higher up than the melee phases. But, so, the number of effects that you can have in each of those phases basically determines your army strength. So, Guard, Tau, and Eldar, they have a lot of effects that happen in the top 3 phases. Movement, shooting, and psychic. Eldar mostly have the psychic going, more so than the Tau, right? But then the Tau have more shooting than the Eldar, and then the Guard have like all of that pretty equally solid. And in doing so, that makes them really strong. It makes them very strong. I mean, Necrons are probably up there too because they have a lot of movement and a lot of good effects in movement and a lot of good effects in shooting. I mean, they're not like mega bananas tier like they were last edition, but hey, that happens. I mean, there's a lot to be said for the Space Marine armies too. So there's not. I don't know. I don't think the game is horribly unbalanced overall. But yeah, I think Guard, Tau, Eldar would probably beat that list up. But I think that the beating that my Demons list would take would not. I don't think it would be a wrecking. I think they'd. I would get a lot out of the Nurgling disruption, and I think I would get a lot out of the Slaanesh actually managing to get into melee with them. Personally, that's me. I think that. I don't know. I also have another old saying where it doesn't matter till it's on the table. Right? Like, which is a euphemistic way of saying Met TC dictates. Where, we can do all the math we want, and the game will probably turn out how the math says, but it does not necessarily turn out how the math says. Because it's a dice game, and dice happen. And it's a people game, and people happen. I've had games where I got super confident. Like, I got really confident in a game I played over the hiatus where, I dropped some dudes and they destroyed a Leman Russ turn 1, and then some other dudes, some Longfangs brought another Leman Russ down to 5 wounds in 1 round of shooting. Right? And I was like, oh, I got this. Yeah, I got this, right? Math says I should probably still have this. And then I didn't. It just didn't happen. I got crushed from then on. Which happens, and is fine. And I wish I'd recorded that game. Actually, I wish I'd recorded a lot of the games that happened while our guard player was here. But, he didn't want to. But anyways, point is, they things happen all the time. And the best you can do is the best you can do, which is a really crappy Yoda phrase, I guess. Yoda style phrase. But anyways, it would be fun. And that's the really important part, right? It would be a fun game. Now, whatever you... And, yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool. And it'd be cool and thematic, too. Seeing, like, these demon hordes charging the guard lines and having them being shot up by, by these desperate guardsmen as their commanders are shouting at them from behind the battlements. Oh, so cool, right? That's really cool, guys. Oh, man. Like, I'm sitting here actually excited about the thought. I actually really want to play that now. But, I don't have all that time to be collecting and painting all that. But, hey, one day I might. So, we're coming up on about an hour and a half, which is pretty good. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I needed to talk about Custodes a little bit. I think that they're really elite, like highly elite, and I think their stats are really high, which makes them really high point cost, which means that this edition, although they're being introduced and their models distributed this edition, and that's cool, right? They're cool models. They look fine. I kind of find the all gold paint jobs that GW wants you to do with them a little boring, but do your own paint jobs. That's fine. That's the way you're supposed to do it. But I think that it's kind of weird to me how much stuff is coming that kind of fills that. They get cool stuff, and the Emperor kicks the bucket. That's about it. I mean, hey. Yeah, they get cool stuff. All right, and they get a lot of cool stuff. But it feels interesting to me. And it's a little weird how a lot of this stuff, like the Primaris Marines and the Custodes, kind of feels like retreads and like improvements upon the Space Marine design and the Space Marine thought process, right? So like, the Primaris Marines really feel like often the Primaris Space Marines feel like what I feel the Space Marines were supposed to feel like when you play them, right? And in this case, I think the Custodes may have a kind of similar thing as it comes to the Grey Knights, I guess. Where like here's the most elite version of this Space Marine idea, and that's gonna be fine. But I also think this edition really favors, as I've said before, big meaty armies, and I don't think the Custodes are gonna make big meaty armies. I think they are going to make smaller, more elite armies that will be really effective where they are. That's cool and likely, but I also think that it's gonna be like Thousand Sons versus Guard. I mean, yeah, right? So exactly like that, Nick, where you have, these... you have less board control because you have fewer dudes, right? And because you have fewer dudes and you have less board control, when the game is happening, you have less control and you have less effects happening in the movement phase. And the movement phase is the strongest phase of the game. And then in the shooting phase, which is the second strongest phase of the game, you don't have as much shooting. So, like, it'll feel really weak. Unless you can, like... Action economy, thank you. Right? You have less action economy because you have fewer actions, because you have fewer dudes on the table. And action economy is so important. And because you have worse action economy, hopefully your actions are better, but it does mean that the mistakes you make are going to be larger, and your army will feel weaker. And I think that's probably going to happen a lot to people who start Custodes armies. Now, the Custodes are probably going to be a great like additional force, right? Kind of like the Tempestus were last edition, where like you didn't really play Tempestus lists, you played guard lists backed up by the Tempestus. But I don't think they're going to be a great 100% army on their own. At least I mean, they'll be fun. Excuse me. Sorry. They probably won't be competitive. But they will be fun. And they'll be interesting. But bringing them to tournaments might not be a great idea. That's my thinking on them. Let me know what you guys think about that set of thoughts while I drink this water. I drank that water. Okay. Anyways, so we're at about an hour and a half, and I think we've talked about all of the things that have gone down this week. And I think we've had a pretty in-depth conversation, and I like it. I'm glad we did. So I'm going to refill my cup, and I'll be back. Put anything you have left to say in the comments, or say it now. I just want to use my Custodes vehicles from the Horus Heresy. I mean, hey, you'll definitely be able to do that. And they'll be good, right? Because, like, I have Imperium 2 here. 1 second. Let's look at these. Like, the Venerable Land Raider. It's bananas, right? BS2, a 5-up invuln, Power of the Machine Spirit, which is normal. Like, and can transport 5 Adeptus Custodes infantry. Like, oh, that's really cool. Comes equipped with twin heavy bolters and 2 twin las cannons. Rad. It's rad. Like that 5-up invuln, though, right? No other Land Raider has that. Oh, and it has a 6-up Feel No Pain. Excuse me. Right? Like, what? just, oh my gosh, what? Ugh, so nasty. Hopefully, I mean, of course, when they come out as a codex, they're going to have more vehicles and more stuff. But again, I'll be right back. And you guys let me know what you think. Alright, and I'm back. And you guys didn't have anything new to say, and that's fine. So I'm probably going to cut it out here, and I'm getting handed a cookie. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Arbiter. So, like it if you do, comment if you want. Even if you've come here after the discussion, or if you think of more things to say after we've signed off here, go ahead and put them in the comments. I like to respond to comments. I like them a lot. And here's Arbiter, a quarter of him eating a cookie. And, yeah. So, like it if you do, comment if you want, or if you think of something new to say after we're done here. I'll probably stick around in chat for a minute, so you can still kind of talk to me there as well. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And you too can live in your mom's basement. Good night.